and welcome to another episode of Todd Talk. When Todd talks, people listen, hopefully. Today we have a very fun death battle prediction video for you because you're doing one of the most requested fighting game matchups of all time. We're doing Ryu from Street Fighter versus Jin from Tekken. That's right, Tekken is finally in Death Battle. This has been one of those franchises that's been lurking there, and they wanted to do it, and then in the last Death Battle cast, they noted that they were always going to do Jin, but they had to make sure they could do him in a 3D battle, because that's where, Tekken was really born. That's what all of the models are basically for, so they waited, and now here's our opportunity here in Season 5. And honestly, it looks like it's going to be a pretty epic matchup, so let's get right to it. Ryu, the Wandering World Warrior and veteran of Death Battle. Ryu was abandoned by his parents when he was young and was adopted by Goken, the martial arts master. And since then, since being adopted, he was trained in martial arts, and this became his life's passion to the extent where he literally wanders the world to become the greatest warrior in the world. And he's never ever stopping in his training. He is always looking for a new opponent, a new battle to fight, whether it's against his best friend Ken, or rivals like M. Bison, or even his other allies. He's always looking for something to push him even farther, because that is his goal. His fighting style is the Ansatsuken, which is technically called the Assassin's Fist, but as noted in Death Battle, it's not exactly what it's meant for with Ryu. Goken adapted the style to do a more non-lethal variation of the technique, while also exploiting arts of Kempo, Judo, and not killing people. And because of this, Ryu has a variety of amazingly powerful moves like his Shoryuken, and his Hadouken, and his Tatsumaki Senpuyaku, and the Shodan Tsugutageri, and among other basic, moves, including throws and blocks and parries and etc., etc. Ryu has been in multiple tournaments, including winning some of them, both canon and technically non-canon, depending on how you read things. He won the first World Warrior tournament, which kickstarted his journey in many, many ways. He's done a lot, but this has also led him on a very interesting journey, because inside of him, he has a darkness, and the darkness is referred to as the Satsui no Hado, or the surge of murderous intent. And this darkness is literally something that can transform him into something much, much darker. And because of this, he can actually become a being called Evil Ryu. Yes, I know this sounds cheesy, but trust me, it's actually kind of terrifying. Evil Ryu magnifies Ryu's natural power by a certain extent, and he's basically full rage mode. And because of this, not only is Evil Ryu incredibly powerful, it scares Ryu incredibly. In fact, part of the series is Ryu fighting internally the power of the Satsui no Hado, because he does not want the darkness to be unleashed, because he kills people. I mean, he literally kills people when he's in the Evil Ryu state, and he doesn't care until he gets out of the Evil Ryu state, and then he's like, oh crap, what did I just do? So yeah, he's got that darkness with him, but as in all things, there is a balance, and there is a light within him also. If he is able to detach himself from all emotions, he can channel even greater power. Yes, I am quoting Death Battle here. He wields the power of nothingness. This gives him full control of his mind and body, helps him, greater awareness of the battlefield, and of course amplifies his moves to a much greater extent, including one of my favorite ones, the Shinku Hadouken, which is massive in size and scale. If you've watched, if you've seen Street Fighter, or you have watched the death battle between him and Scorpion. Along his journey, Ryu has fought many, many great street fighting characters, including his best friend Ken, who he has both lost to and won against. He's fought Chun-Li. He's fought Sakura, who's his #1 fan / training partner in some ways. He's fought, of course, numerous other interesting characters like Oro, who is a master martial artist. He's fought M. Bison multiple times. He's fought the Super Warrior Seth and beat him. I'm trying to think of all. There's so many Street Fighter characters. He's canonically beaten a lot of characters, both of higher tier, lower tier, Dan Hibiki, and everything in between. So he's a lot of victories under his belt. I mean, he is the World Warrior. He is the original World Warrior. It's implied that he's won multiple World Warrior tournaments. Oh, he beat Sagat in the first one, and Sagat's a Muay Thai master. Um, he's done a lot. But as Val noted before, just because he's the Street Fighter poster boy doesn't mean he's the top World Warrior. He has lost multiple times. And sometimes the Sato Minohara can't overwhelm him, and he has to be taken down just so he can get out of the state. Like one example is Street Fighter 4, where he was taken down by a Sea Viper, and he went to Sato Minohara and beat her, and then killed all her guards because she was torturing Cammy. Which no one puts Cammy in a corner. I appreciate if anyone got that reference. So he's got this great internal struggle with him, because he's going to be composite Ryu in Death Battle. He's going to still have the Sato Minohara within him, despite what happened in Street Fighter V. That's very important to note. And of course, he's lost to Ken, he's lost to M. Bison, he's lost to Oro, he's lost to a lot of people, but he's also won against a lot of people, and his personality wills him through battles, and that's very important here, because Ryu is nothing if not humble. He is a very calm man. He is a very kind, compassionate person, but he just loves to fight. He loves to test his skills, but he never does it for vanity. He just wants to see if he can improve more. So, and in battle, if he's in a tough fight, he will will himself to win. Now, sometimes, yes, that means succumbing to the Sato Minohara. But yet other times he'll go into the power of nothingness and win that way, like in a certain fight with M. Bison, where he literally almost blasted him out of existence with the Shinku Hadouken. He's done a lot, and his will to win and his drive to be better pushes him in the best way possible, and that's why he's been a poster boy, not just for Street Fighter, but for the fighting game genre, and including even getting into Smash Brothers, among other crossover franchises. Capcom would not be the same without Ryu, and Street Fighter wouldn't be the same without Ryu. So you gotta respect the World Warrior. All right, moving on to Tekken. Jin. Oh boy. So Jin was born of Jun Kazawa. I apologize if I mess up these names. I'm not a Tekken player that much. I've only played it a few times in my life, so if I mess up some of these names, I'm sorry. He was born to Jun Kazuya. It was raised to be, raised in the family martial art of the Mishima family, of which Jin was into technically because by blood, by a relationship. It's complicated. It's Tekken. Anyway, so she was raising him. Then around his 15th birthday, an ogre, I kid you not, comes around and kills Jin. And her words, the message she gave to Jin before she died, was to go and find Heihachi Mishima, who was his grandfather. And if something was happening to her, he was supposed to go and find her. So sure enough, ogre comes along, kills her, and he goes and finds Heihachi. Hearing about what Jin was doing there and that he was his grandson, Heihachi took him in, trained him in the Mishima style of martial arts, which is pretty good, and he trained him enough to where he could eventually go and enter the King of the Iron Fist tournament, which was actually Heihachi's tournament, and Jin won, and then he went to face the ogre, killed him, then Heihachi killed Jin, and that's the end of the story. I'm just kidding. No, that's when things kind of go screwy, because just like Ryu, Jin also had a darkness in him, except his darkness was more of a devil. It was the devil gene. And because of that, Jin literally resurrected himself after being shot with bullets. I just love that. Shot with bullets. After being shot with bullets, resurrected himself, sprouted wings, sprouted a third eye, killed all of Heihachi's soldiers, and then flew away. And this started a very long and painful journey for Jin. A journey that would end with one goal: wipe out the Mishima line, including his father Kazuya, who was just as much of a jerk. Trust me, he's a jerk. So Jin was desperate to not just get rid of his own devil gene, but wipe out the Mishima line. And for the course from Tekken 4 to Tekken 7, which was the end of the Mishima saga, he set out to do exactly that, and he had to beat a lot of people along the way. Now, ironically, the Mishima fighting style that he learned, he actually unlearned so he could take a more basic form of karate. But since this is composite, Jin, they're not gonna mix the styles. He is very good when it comes to combos, but he's also a very interesting counter wrestler. He is very, very good about being evasive and then striking. He's known as a poking fighter, which I find a very interesting term. Uh, he he likes to lure people in, and then once they miss a shot, he'll like overwhelm them with multiple combo strikes, including his 10-hit combo, which he's apparently known for. Again, I don't play Tekken that much, and then when I do, it's usually Yoshimitsu. Never mind, I was going to tell you a story, but I'll save for another time. Anyway, but yeah, Jin trained himself and learned a new karate martial arts so that he could further distance himself from Heihachi and Kazuya, and then he slowly set out on a journey to basically kill them. And he came very close multiple times. And then I won't spoil Tekken 7 if you haven't played it, but go play Tekken 7. Seriously, it's a really good game. Like, it's like one of the best fighting games out there. I know this for a fact. So just go and play it. Anyway, so he set out on a journey to go and defeat his father, defeat his grandfather, and the Mishima line, because he wants the devil gene gone. Because the devil gene is actually his family's curse. It was his great grandmother was an Oni, which is a bad thing in this case. Well, I guess it's a bad thing in every case, but perspective. But no, he is cursed with the devil gene, and he has half the devil gene, and his father Kazuya has the other half. And so when the devil gene, emerges from Jin, Jin just goes full devil. I mean, if you think of it like Dante from Devil May Cry, where he goes the devil trigger, it's the same principle here, except just a little less, because Dante is just overpowered. Dante and Virgil are so overpowered. It's not even funny. Anyway, so when the double trigger activates, Jin gets wings that he can totally use to fly around in battle. He gets an eye laser, which is scary. He gets telekinesis, which is scary. And then obviously his strength, his speed, his skill, it just amplifies. And Jin, like Ryu, does not like his devil gene, but unlike Ryu, he is willing to go to very dark lengths to get his way. For example, if Ryu wants to beat a person or find a bad guy, he'll go, let's call it the right way. He'll go the path of a true warrior. He'll get information the right way. He'll defeat people, but not brutalize them and everything. Jin will brutalize people. Jin, he can be very arrogant and so headstrong that he will do absolutely anything to get his way. For example, in Tekken 6, he pretty much ruined the world so that he could destroy a greater evil within the world, in this case Azazel. So he literally took over Heihachi's corporation, then used it to start wars, destroy countries and homes and everything, and basically destroy all rivals, so that Azazel would be drawn out of his hibernation or something like that. Again, it's Tekken, it's weird. So that Jin could fight him and kill him, because only a person with the devil gene can kill Azazel. So yeah, he basically tried to ruin the world so that he could save it, which is a dictator kind of thing. And it's specifically stated that Jin is technically the anti-hero in Tekken 6. I'm just saying. So yeah, but Jin is willing to go to very dark lengths. And then, of course, his goal in life was to kill his father and his grandfather. And again, I'm not going to spoil it. Go watch Tekken 7. But yeah, the Mishima saga ended in Tekken 7. Let's just put it to you that way. Now, along the way, Jin has beaten a lot of people. And the King of the Iron Fist tournament has a lot of, powerful fighters. He's beaten his rival Lars multiple times. He has defeated his father and his grandfather multiple times, including withstanding a 2-on-1 assault from both of them. And these guys were, top tier fighters. Both worthy of they were, technically Iron Fist champions themselves, technically. So they're no slouches. They're very, very good. So it goes without saying that Jin has beaten a lot of people, and he's advanced through the King of the Iron Fist tournament multiple times and won it multiple times technically. Again, it's Tekken, it's weird, but yeah. And then he's taken bullets and lived. He's taken massive punches and lived. He's I think someone said like he survived like jumping out of a helicopter, which is like a Leon S. Kennedy move, but whatever. So yeah, Jin's done a lot, and so it's just gonna be a very interesting matchup with Ryu. So the question is, who comes out better? And this is actually kind of tough because Jin and Ryu are very, very similar. They're both martial arts experts. I would say if we were just discounting their regular powers, like their extra powers, like like Satomi no Hado, Devil Gene, and the Power of Nothingness, I would say they're about dead even. They've both fought powerful beings. They've both beaten powerful beings, and even though I would say Ryu has a slight advantage because of his energy attack, like Hadouken, I would say that Jin is able to beat that because he's fought people who may not have similar moves, but are martial arts masters in their own right. So I'd say they're pretty much even in that. But it's when we add the other abilities that things get a little bit complicated. So the question is the Satomi no Hado and the Power of Nothingness enough to kill Jin? And I don't think it is, and here's why. First and foremost, the Devil Gene allows Jin to fly. And you might think, well, why does that matter? I mean, we've seen flying opponents lose in death battle, and that's true. I mean, look at Guts versus Nightmare. But in a fighting game, that's a true fighter, like fists situation. That's a big difference. And not to mention that while Jin technically does not have energy attacks when he's in regular form, when he's in Devil Jin, like I mentioned, he has the Eye Beam, he has telekinesis, he can do a lot of things to Ryu. And not to mention, he's incredibly durable. Again, he was dead. He literally got shot in the head, killed by Heihachi, and the Devil Gene said, nope! And brought him back to life. So, you kind of have to argue, does Ryu have the ability to kill him at all? And I don't think he does. And while Ryu has beaten, some of the top fighters in his world, including, M. Bison and Oro and Sagat, Jin has repeatedly beaten Heihachi and Kazuya, who are some of the top tier, in his, and he even beat his great grandfather to help take care of, to help take control of Heihachi's company. So he's used to beating some of the top tier people in his world and doing it regularly. This guy doesn't lose as often as you might think. So, and while the Satsui no Hado Power of Nothingness are incredibly powerful and will no doubt give Jin a run for his money, I think his Devil Gene just is the X factor here. And I just don't think that Jin is gonna lose. So I am going to throw my hat in the ring for Jin to win this death battle. There you go. So I guess you could say that Ryu won't be taking him out. I'll end the show now. So yeah, with that, I am ending this episode of Todd Talk. Who do you think is going to win between Ryu and Jin? And how epic do you think this 3D battle is going to be? Because I think this is seriously going to be really, really epic. So let me know about that in the comments below. So I thank you for watching. If you made this far, I know you were listening, and I will see you around.